Hello everybody, and thanks for checking out another video here on G4G, Games for Gamers. Today we are taking a look at another web game, but it's not a Facebook game. It's City of Steam. I did a video on this game a decent ways back, maybe quarter of a year, half a year ago, when the game was in beta. Unfortunately, at the time, I managed to get into the game with about 20 minutes left in the beta, so it basically closed while I was playing it, and I wasn't really able to get the most amount of footage. I'll give you guys a warning: when you first start playing this game at cityofsteam.com, the music in the intro will be loud. If you go back and check out the original video, you'll actually hear it echoing back through my headset. So, here we go. This is City of Steam by R2 Games, and this is my level 6 gunner. It's a very steampunk, Victorian-oriented game. It's actually kind of fun for a browser game. It sort of reminds me of I wouldn't say it's the most well-known game out there, but it was a Diablo-esque clone, a Nox Torchlight-esque clone called Darkstone. Darkstone was a game that came on CD-ROM, if I remember correctly. Had a little bit of actual recorded music that you could play in town. If you gave somebody a little bit of coin, if you dropped it on their plate, you were treated to the Darkstone song. And there was even a music video buried in the CD, which you can actually find on YouTube. For some reason, this game sort of reminds me of it. I'm not exactly too sure why. I think it's the graphics to a certain degree. But let's take a look around the interface over here. Here you have your character portrait and your energy. Amazingly enough, I think you will get a ton of playtime out of your energy in this game. The instances that I've gone into have taken about 10 energy, and you have 1,000, and you get 10 of it back in 10 minutes, so I don't really feel like this is one of those Facebook games where you do 6 things and sneeze and scratch your left nut, and suddenly you can't do anything. You either have to wait, or maybe drop cash to recharge your energy. It doesn't really feel like that. Maybe later on some dungeons will take tremendously higher amounts of energy. They could do the crack drug pusher thing and start you off with a bunch of 10s, and you get hooked and you're like, wow, this is fun, and I'm playing for an hour and I haven't made a dent, and then all of a sudden everything takes 600. So who knows? Let's take a look around the UI a little bit more. So you have Electrum, which might be a real-life cache, not too sure. You have Spire Marks, you have Keys, which will open some chests in game. You have Shillings, which is your main currency. Have a little bit of a bonus going here. I'm level 6. Down over here you have some stats about the server, and you have your settings. Could do some stuff with your video. As you can see, this is fairly robust video settings for a browser game. This is akin to a more what you would call like a fat client, the actual game itself. You can do a little bit of stuff with the controls over here, like click to move, and here are your key bindings. So you can click to move in this game. You can even click to find, but we'll hold off on that at the moment. You have a login bonus, so it does help out to do this daily. I just claimed my 2nd day. And you can check out my old video if you want to see what it's like to create a character. I'm going to skip that for now. Down here you have your health. And you have a few abilities. You have your experience bar. You have health. You have steam, which is mana. You can do an emote list. You can do pets, ride a vehicle, which I have neither, and draw sheath your weapon with F. Right now I'm using a two-hander with a shield. And then you have a couple other bottoms, like you can change the size from maximize to a smaller window. And then you have some links for bugs, controls, getting to the forums, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, change the camera mode, and some exit. This section over here sort of reminds me of a few Facebook games. Cheesier ones than this. This is a lot nicer than... It was a Crystal Saga, something that I played on Facebook that had a similar area over here, but was just kind of bleh. And you've got some quests over here. There's a daily in this town where you log in and you can get some free keys or some pots. Here is a quest board, which I've unfortunately already done, and I don't know what this challenge stuff is. Scroll wheel in and out will affect your zoom, so that's pretty standard RPG fare over there. This is lit up because I think I have a new inventory item that I've never worked with. No, okay, I don't. Oh, I'm wearing leather boots instead of mesh boots. That's not good. Alright, so here are the potions. Here are some crafting items. Then you have these collectibles. Mesh bracers. And I'm wearing a shield with a two-hander, so I'm going to move that over here as a sail. Going to move that over here as a sail. And downgrade pauldrons. Now you can't really move the UI element around. I was actually looking to move it to hit the X and the right, but it's on the left over here. So, alright, let's take a look around this town. This is the refuge. This is a area that I came to after running my human character. Here's M from the map, and it looks like there is maybe a quest for me to do over here. In this instance, the cross swords are the instances. But something I wanted to show over here. Now, this town essentially has areas that are dedicated to the different classes. And when you come here, depending on like what is your starter story, you'll come up to a house where you have to go and clear a basement as a relatively early instance. However, you can actually walk up to the starter houses of different races, and you can do them too. So here we are in the house of a particular race, and essentially they probably would be interacting with this luggage, and then you get a quest to go down in the basement and clear some shit up. Now, as you can see, it only takes 15 energy to walk in here. 15 out of 1,000. That's pretty good. So we're just going to go through this early instance over here, and I'll show you guys a little bit of gameplay. Here on the map, you'll see red for enemies, and you'll see gold for destructibles. Now that I'm not in town, I can actually sheath my weapon. Oh, it seems like my upgraded gun that I got was a rapid fire gun. Neat! So if you unsheath your weapon and you shoot at destructibles, you'll do it at range. If you sheath it, you'll walk up to it. Now, gold is an automatic pickup. Just like Diablo and Torchlight, if you just walk over the gold, you'll pick it up, but other items you have to manually do. Typical to Diablo and Torchlight, Holding shift means get to the range in which you can start doing something and do it. So you can hold shift to stay in one spot. This is an example of a chest that needs a key. So now my keys went down from 11 to 10. Bunch of loot popped out. If I walk around it, I'll suck up all the gold. And then I can click on the metal for crafting. And I got a belt. I is inventory. And the belt is a pretty poor downgrade, so we'll move this into the sale area here. Actually, you know what this game reminds me of a little bit with the graphics? A more graphically detailed Nightmare Creatures. Anybody remember Nightmare Creatures for the PC? I think it came out for a console, and there was a lady toon, and then there was a guy toon who used a staff, and you got combo abilities as you progressed in the game. I mean, this doesn't exactly play like Nightmare Creatures, but it sort of has that earthy, gritty London, Sherlock Holmes London quality to it. Okay, that's not really destructible. Or as some people like to call it, the RPG browns and grays. So because my gun's been kind of murdering everything over here, it's been a little boring and I haven't really done too many abilities, so let's see if we can start on that on the next few fights over here. Now you tend to do get a decent amount of keys, and I spend my daily login bonus on keys, so you can pretty much open these with impunity. Wow, I'm just ripping these guys up before I can really even do an ability, so this is probably not too fun, but let's see if we can open the door, stand back, target them, and we'll hit him with acid shot. Now that was my caustic splash, which will do a little bit of AoE damage. I have a mortar shot, which I apparently need a target for. That sucks. So yeah, here's a early instance after you get out of your starter zone, and it only took 15 energy, so it's pretty quick. And as you can see, well, okay, it actually is taking 30 because it took 15 to walk in the first door, and now it's taking 15 to proceed later. So maybe they are going to start doing a little bit of a drug pusher on you. And there's my mortar shot. My number 3 is a rapid fire that would have been similar to how this gun fires as a default. I'm not too sure if there's a key that switches weapon sets. If you look over here, well, C is not character. If you look over here, I have my 2 one-handers, and then I have my 2-hander and a shield. I'm not too sure if there's, like, you know, how W would switch you in Torchlight, and I think Diablo 2 had a hotkey for switching it. I remember not liking the fact that Diablo 3 didn't have a switch key like that. Ha! My caustic splash spread over to a destructible. You'll see a little bit of plus signs popping up when I shoot stuff. That's because one of my pieces of gear has life leech on it. Seems potentially a little overpowered to have a life leech thing this early, especially a ranged character, but we'll see. feel this gun is quite overpowered. At least for this little short beginner instance that I'm in. And that's all the creatures. There's a few extra destructibles here on the way out. And as you can see, it's free to get out. I think that would be kind of crappy of them if they actually charged you to get out of the instance, which doesn't seem... There we go. So there you go. There's a little bit of City of Steam. And we'll go ahead and click this, and we'll get taken to this quest giver. It is a somewhat smart auto run. I haven't seen this thing path me into a wall or get me stuck on a corner. Kind of reminds me of one of the Perfect World games. I think actually Perfect World, not the international one, but the Perfect World that's made for American shores. We'll stop for a second and take a look at the Alchemist Station over here. Here is where you can buy some pots and everything like that. Now you can see I'm at 11,452 for my shillings, and I'm only level 6, and these pots are about 2k. So they're a little expensive, but not too bad. Let's see if I can actually sell some stuff. And let's see if we can take a look at the crafting. Now you can go to crafting. Your gear will show up over here. And you can drop it in. It will tell you it's 100%. It tells you what materials it's using. And then if it can't get upgraded any further, it'll just kick it right out. If you can upgrade further, like maximum upgrade 2, these pauldrons might do it. See, it leaves it here because you can get another level out of it. But we're going to go ahead and close it. And we'll see what this instance is over here. So, apparently on this one, you have 3 different levels. You have 15 energy for the level 6 plus 1. And see, this kind of, you can't just click on it to get some information about it. As soon as you click on it, it automatically queues you. So this is like the raid, what it kind of calls the raid level. The energy consumption goes up to 25. It's still recommended for 1 person. Not too sure what that little gear is over here. And it looks like potentially there's some kind of a challenge going on over here. So let's go ahead and do it on the slightly harder one. See what it looks like. Yeah, I don't want to wait. I wonder if it's maybe just a snatch and grab. I do see some enemies over here. Oh, so maybe it's like a treasure run for Miss Pandaria? The level itself actually seems very familiar. I think you do a somewhat similar level when you are doing your starter stuff. As you can see here, things are taking a bit more punishment, but not tremendously so. believe I have a roach behind me. It's funny, these boxes all seem to do the same thing. When you kill them, it doesn't seem like any one box is different from another. It's not like the Crash Bandicoot boxes. Here's that one I saw from across the chasm. Piece of gray loot that I have to click on to pick it up. This little gunner for now is definitely kicking some ass. She's a lot of fun. If I had to rank this in terms of a web game and how often would I play it and where would I pick it in comparison to, say, Marvel Avengers Alliance, Chronoblade, and a new one that I might have coming up called Vega Conflict. Hard to say. Out of the four, I would think this would rank right up there at maybe 2 or 3, simply because of the maximum amount of stuff you can do for your energy. I think you can get a lot of playtime out of this game, and I think it might be worth it to definitely spend a decent amount of time playing it. Whereas, you know, some Facebook and web games are really good. If you have like 5 minutes, you can drop in and drop out. This one I think is worth spending maybe, you know, at least a good 10-15 minutes. And there definitely are other characters. There is a Arcanist, there is a Channeler, and I think the other one, which is a warrior type, might be called a Guardian. And there's a whole bunch of other races too. Most of them are human-based, but there is some goblins and some orcs. Kind of a grayishy skinned race. So here you go. Here is City of Steam by R2 Games. You'll see a link to the website in the description. And I'll probably post a link to the first video I did on the game back when it was in open beta, so you can get a nice comparison. So hope you enjoyed the video here on G4G Games for Gamers. And keep watching the channel. Probably see one maybe showing up for the Facebook game Vega Conflict. Have a good one.